Hey guys, this is a grain of salt, and let's just jump right into the topic today. And let's talk about some Far Cry 5 controversy. Oh yeah. So before I get into this, I just want to be clear. I myself am, definitely don't define myself as some SJW person. I'm not a social justice warrior. I am pretty sickened by the overcompensation and backlash against everyone that doesn't 100% agree with the extremely liberal agenda of today. But I think the backlash against Far Cry 5 is completely ridiculous. So Far Cry 5, we've seen some teaser trailers, we've seen some footage, and what we see are that you're presumably a sheriff fighting against a predominantly white religious cult in Montana that seems to be violently converting people and punishing them in this small town. They are obviously American, and the religion they're associated with is Christianity, or at least some fictional version of that. We don't know 100%, but just kind of the Last Supper kind of scenery and the churches, and it being just a small white clan in America, it's some extreme form of Christianity or just some hardcore like Old Testament shit. But keep in mind, the protagonists of the game, including yourself, I believe, are basically all white except for this one black guy who seems to be like a father or whatever. So you can't say that they're trying to make all white people look bad, because most of the protagonists in the game are also these white redneck looking people. So I fail to see the reasoning there. And let's also think that previous Far Cry games have focused on many different antagonists represented by various different races, of almost none of them are white. So I don't think the developers of this are like, we have to make white people look bad. Like, no, they look at an extreme case. In this case, it's extremist religious cults within America for a change. And they're like, let's make an over-exaggerated story about that, just like we've been making over-exaggerated stories about many other religions or cults or people, enemies, Nazis, whatever. To me, this doesn't even remotely seem like anti-white. It just seems to be an interesting story that we don't get a lot, especially one that focuses on Americans as the enemy. And let's face it, like, I myself, I'm not religious at all. I'm an atheist. So when I look at the world, I see most religions as crazy as fuck. And, a lot of Americans, a lot of Europeans, just everybody, they harp on Islam and stuff. And in some cases, respectfully so, because even if you look at terrorism, not to get too political here, but even if you look at terrorism, I don't subscribe to the fact that it has nothing to do with Islam. Islam is the organizational foundation that brings together these extremists around the globe fighting for one mission, for one God, under one religion. It's not like random mentally ill people just grabbing a gun and mowing people down for some random reason of their own. They're all doing it in the name of, guess what? Islam. Even if it's an extreme version of Islam, it's all in the name of one organized religion. Just like, the KKK or many other extremist cults around the world, you can't also say they have nothing to do with religion, because in the same way, it's an organized criminal, basically organization based off of a religion that brings these people together. So you can't say it has nothing to do with religion. So in that case, I also like the idea that they're exploring that in America too. So in my opinion, it's just an interesting fucking story. I think people should get over that. So unless every Far Cry game from now on makes white Americans of the religious Christian kind look like pieces of shit, then I don't think you have anything to worry about. I'm sure the next Far Cry game will have a completely different setting and plot. This is just an interesting idea that developers had that kind of sets it apart, not just from other Far Cry games, but from many games out there. Like, there aren't a ton of games that feature white Americans, especially Christians, as like an enemy and antagonist. So it's just a different fucking type of story. I don't get it. I don't get why there's this backlash against it. Anyways, guys, those are my thoughts on Far Cry 5. Let me know what your thoughts are, if you agree or disagree with me. But if you disagree, I really want to know why. Like, just let me know down in the comments, because I don't know how what we've seen here in the trailer, how this is some anti-white propaganda. Just because there's a story that makes white people look bad doesn't automatically make the developers here have an anti-white agenda. You can make a story about anything at least once and not have an agenda behind it. If you start doing the same type of story like fucking multiple times in a row, then maybe it looks like you have an agenda, but we're nowhere near that point. Anyways, guys, have a good day, and remember, take everything with a grain of salt. Have a good one.